Hey, it's Al here with
xtraOrdinary
Athletes, here helping you fit fitness even into the busiest of lives, even when on vacation in Italy.
We are here in a beautiful Tuscan villa with a couple of friends on a trip that we've been looking forward to for a really long time. And today we're going to take you along to some of our adventures.
But we thought this would be a great opportunity to show you a few of the tips that we follow to keep some extraordinary fitness happening, even when we're on vacation in the land of tasty, delicious food.
That's right. So here are our 3 top tips for staying healthy even when on vacation.
Tip number 1, don't binge. But don't deprive yourself either. Look, we get it. You're in a new land filled with tasty, tempting treats, and you're super excited to get into it. For us, we were super stoked to try the paninis, the gelato, the wine, the pasta, pizzas. Oh! Avoid the temptation of getting to your destination on day 1 and then stuffing your face and binging needlessly. For instance, you don't want to get to Italy and then eat 3 pizzas in one night, although Al really wanted to. Remember, you're here for a long time, so it's better for you to space out your treats throughout the trip so that you avoid feeling disgustingly full and you get to also enjoy the local treats.
Tip number 2, stick with the delicacies of the land. So like we said, we love to partake in the food and drink here in Italy. But Al and Kat, for instance, aren't really big drinkers. In fact, Al generally tends to avoid it back home. But he did grow up drinking wine as part of his culture, around the table with his family, having homemade wine and good food. So he wasn't going to come here and not partake, even if on some days we maybe went a drink or 2 overboard. But this is part of our main point. We still partook with the enjoyments that are particular to this wonderful land. And that included some drinks, even though we're not the biggest drinkers. And obviously it included pizza and pasta and gelato. But the tip here is to avoid the other unnecessary excesses. Just because you're not sticking to your normal nutrition plan, which we certainly were not, doesn't mean you should throw out all of your nutrition principles. So in Italy, for us, yes to pasta, yes to pizza, yes to the gelato, we are in Italy! But it doesn't mean that we're also going to stop at the McDonald's at the airport. Doesn't mean we're going to start to gorge and eat twice as much as we normally do. It doesn't mean that just anything goes. This is an easy psychological mistake that lots of us often make. As soon as we start to deviate from our nutrition plan, we start to get this sense that there's no point in trying to stick with any of it. And this can go off the rails fairly quickly and lead you down an unnecessary and dangerous path. So we do still have to keep nutrition in mind when possible. So here are 4 things that we like to keep in mind.
First, if you do have access to a kitchen, then make sure to get some grocery shopping in. Second, try to get in a healthy breakfast before your day's adventures begin. For us, we try to get in our oats with fruits and hard-boiled eggs. Third, don't overeat. Just because you're deviating from your nutrition plan does not mean that you should just increase your caloric intake. Am I right? 4, still remember to get your veggies and fruits in, and don't forget about your protein intake, especially in a carb-loving country like Italy. There's no reason for you to ignore your protein or your micronutrient intake regardless of where you are at.
Okay, tip 3, fitting fitness in. This one might seem a little tough, but it's still important to fit fitness in even when on vacation. This is true even if you don't have a gym wherever you are. And walking can certainly be a big part of this. Walking with friends and loved ones is a great thing to do day to day. And walking will be especially fun if you're in a land known for hiking and trails and whatnot. But honestly, going 2 or more weeks without any resistance training is honestly a bit too much. And if we're keeping it real, is unnecessary. Now, this is the hard truth here. There really are no excuses. Even without a gym, wherever you are and on little time, you can do fairly quick routines just to keep your muscles fed. And we've certainly showcased some of those in our Hit It in 12 series. And we can apply some of those same principles that we showed in the Hit It in 12 series here when you're planning a vacation workout. It's still something you program and set and try to figure out where you're gonna slot it in through your week. It's not a haphazard, last-minute type of thing. You still go into each one of your workouts with a purpose, and you still find ways to hit every muscle, including your chest, your abs, your legs, and even your back, which can be tricky without a gym. Now, will you be able to go as heavy as you do back home in your gym or in your house where you have your dumbbells? Probably not, but factor that into account when you're planning your workouts. Maybe increase the intensity or increase the frequency. One of our tricks is to try to schedule our deload week for when we're on vacation. That doesn't mean not working out, it just means switching it up. So training really hard and heavy leading right up to our vacation, and then training more intensely and with less weight when on vacation. So for us, we're doing many quick routines. We've switched up the exercises from what we normally do back home. Obviously, we're going lighter and we're focusing a lot more on metabolic stress. So with just a little creativity and planning, and some willpower, there's no reason why you still can't get in a healthy dose of resistance training throughout the weeks while you're on vacation. Plus, you can do it in a beautiful setting as well.
We are at which is the superstore. We're gonna get some food and make sure that we have enough to make some delicious meals.
All right, let's go. Let's do it.
Gonna get a nice squeeze out of that.
Oh yeah. Hey, I think I got way too much prosciutto. This weighs like 20 pounds. See, another important reason for exercising is to be strong, so as to carry your water around the grocery store.
And to pull your groceries apparently too. Your 20 pounds of prosciutto.
Okay, so we are headed to what is going to be, I think, one of my favorite parts of this trip. It's a natural spring, but it's in the middle of nowhere. And we're gonna wander into the forest and then jump into this natural spring. Might smell a little bit like sulfur. Kat's super excited for that.
Gotta pass these cyclists. I would just like to point out, Kat, what are we eating right now?
Beautiful salad.
Mm-hmm.
Tuscan salad. Getting your veggies in, especially in drink form.
Mm-hmm. Well, ignore the drink part. But do you see how we're getting some nutrition happening on these delicious plates right now? You don't need to only eat pasta when you go to Italy, because if anything, the delicious salad makes you appreciate the pasta all the more.
Although I have pasta coming. Okay, so we're at the Uffizi Museum, which is Kat's favorite thing that she wanted to do on this trip.
We're basically just following Kat around as she tells us lessons and then gets shut, and then we make up stories about what the art actually means to us. this is a prime example of enjoying yourself on vacation with the delicacies of the land.
Okay, so the thing that Christina's most excited about wasn't somewhere we went, or a park, or a museum, or any of the stuff she thought she would be, but instead it was conquering a lifelong challenge of hers.
And that is driving like a pro through the twist and the twine and the crazy traffic of Italy.
I don't even understand what that was. Did you have a stop sign?
No,
That was not a stop sign.
no.
Okay, so we hope you liked our tips and our tricks that we mentioned in the video on how to stay healthy even when you're on vacation, and hopefully you enjoyed a peek into our little Tuscany vacation here, but this is unfortunately our last night, so we're going to say goodbye.
But we will be back next week with our regular xOA upload, so be sure to check back in for that one.
And now it is time for us to go to bed for some much needed sleep. See you next time.
Bye.
Bye.